What's going on, everybody? My name is Marcus Obiata. I was a former combat engineer in the 101st Airborne, and today we're going to be comparing Special Forces versus basic training soldiers. More specifically, we're going to be seeing how they both compare in urban operations. So you'll get to see the best of the best in urban operations training, and then the not so best of the best in urban operations training. Disclaimer, I've worked with Special Forces, I've done weapons training with them, I've also done a lot of demolition training with them, but I am not Special Forces. However, I feel confident enough to commentate on this video considering the amount of doors I've blown up as an engineer, and also I've done a lot of urban operation training. So let's get to it. Right off the bat, you'll see they're covering every single angle. They got your back, they got your top, they got your side. And you'll also notice right here, they are not touching the wall. They're really close to the wall because they have to protect themselves, but you do not scrape against the wall because you'll let the people inside know you're coming. Boom. Boom. Boom, just like that. Whoever's inside, I mean, you're getting a real big head case. It doesn't do any justice on camera, but in person, you can feel that shockwave. Here they go. Nice and slow. You'll see, and also you got to keep in mind, a lot of this is going to be done at night, so they can kind of get away with going at a slow pace. You'll also note that the breacher right there with the demolition, he's being escorted to the door. You always get an escort. You got to pull security for your breacher. Also important to note, the guy who's pulling security is holding the weapon with the opposite hand. So you want to make sure you don't lean in and look, otherwise your shoulder can get clipped. If he was holding that weapon on the other shoulder, his other whole shoulder would be exposed. So all these little details, you'll see the Special Forces really think about everything when they do urban operations. Boom. Here they go, nice and slow. Just go slow, because the people inside, they know you're there. A little faster, there we go.
Ready.
Okay, right there. Now, that's called time fuse. You have anywhere from 5 to 7 seconds to get out of the way. That is plenty of time to get out of the way of a blast. Boom. That was a smaller charge, as you can see. You'll see some of the charges are meant to cut the door in half. Some of it are meant to blow the whole door forward, and some of the charges are only meant to just blow off the doorknob, and we'll kind of talk about that. Covering all angles. Okay, so we're going to replay that. I want you to watch the blast and look at the shape it makes when the blast happens. It looks like a donut or a C. Check this out. Watch this again. Now you can kind of see it's a donut shape. That's because whenever you see people blow things inside, Special Forces groups, if the blast is too big, it's extremely dangerous. So you do what's called a donut charge or a C charge, and you only blow up the doorknob. Because if you're blowing up the whole door, there might be a hostage inside and you're taking everybody out. Boom. Here we go. Here's the difference. Now you see this right here. It's going to cut the door in half. Taking their time, providing security. Boom, you see, and the door got cut right in half. Nice and slow, because everybody inside knows you're there. They're so detailed in everything they do. Flashbangs. Nobody's getting flagged. You see, until they go into the door, then the weapon comes down. You see that? Again, providing security, watching all aspects. Not touching, not even the breacher is touching the wall. Boom. That's awesome. Flashbang out, why not? Here we go. Again, that's going to cut the door right in half. Everything is all dependent on the material of the door. That's when you kind of pick and choose what your demolition is going to be, and that's done with research, but typically whatever demo you're using will do the job. Okay, so we saw special forces and how detailed they were in their urban operations. Now we're going to see basic training soldiers. I'm not going to give too much hate on them because obviously they're not that well trained and this is the first time they're doing this, but you'll kind of see the difference between the two, and here we go. Off the bat, extremely dangerous. They're not using real rounds, however, there's gases coming out the side of your weapon when you use blank rounds, and I mean, that's crazy they even showed that on camera. And you can see right there, when the special forces, they're doing clearing, that guy in the door, he pushes through. You can see he's just waiting right here. This is the funnel of death. You don't just sit there. You got to come through. So you see little details like that matter. Watch. Everybody's bunched up. Okay, so right here they're simulating like really high stress situations just to get the soldiers, used to being in an urban environment. Standing in the door, like, I don't know if they're searching a body or doing a medical, but you would never stand in the door to do that. I mean, this is giving me literal PTSD, the amount of people in one room and nobody knows what they're doing. But again, they're privates. They don't know better. Okay, so important. Watch this, the closest guy here with the machine gun who was just looking out the window. Everybody got flagged. You got to be very careful with a 249. That thing can go off at any time.
The soldiers will be going through urban combat scenarios.
Okay.
Some platoons set up as opposing...
Right there, again, he has one hand on his weapon.
Set up as
right there. You always got to have your hand on your weapon at all times.
Opposing forces, and they will provide resistance as squads navigate through Liberty
They bunch up on each other.
City. Their objective is to capture or kill an HVT, high-value target. And of course, the HVT will have security and bodyguards. So the soldiers...
These guys who have their uniforms backwards, again, they're just pretending to be like hostiles and just like civilians, trying to bother the soldier and get them all like stressed out.
The mission is to neutralize the bodyguards as best they can, and then capture or kill the HVT. The Forge is a grueling 96-hour cumulative training exercise that puts Week 7 trainees in a patrol base as they encounter a multitude of combat and logistical scenarios. Okay. During this time, trainees will be forged in the furnace.
Again, you saw that, right? He was standing in the door and you got surprised. That's why you'd never stand in the door. You get caught. It's called the funnel of death.
And tough training. There will be multiple road marches, a tough night infiltration course, a combat resupply event, a casualty evacuation drill, a pugil sticks competition, and the reflexive fire range.
I love how they're like, hostage saving drill, door clearing drill, pugil stick drill. Like what?
Over the 4 days of events, the trainees navigate about 46 miles.
Okay, wow.
The Forge emphasizes battle drills, tactical operations, and numerous foot patrols.
There you go.
The Forge...
Okay, so you kind of see the difference between special forces and basic training. Obviously, we knew the basic training guys are not going to be as well trained, but you can see really how much detail really goes into urban operations at the highest level and how they look at every single detail, not touching the wall, flipping your weapon stance not to poke your shoulders out, what charges you use on the inside, how fast you go, don't stand in the door. You get my point. So I kind of wanted to show you guys, for anybody who's never seen the difference, and hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube, like the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.